Back to live at Urban Wild. Today is February 2nd, 2023, Thursday if I'm not mistaken, but it is Groundhog's Day. For all of what that means, this is Groundhog's Day. For over 40 years I've been trying to figure out why life is in such a loop. Why no matter what, people still keep going back to doing things that don't make any sense. How this world keeps spinning on the same axis of insanity, of stupidity, of blindness. And I realize that it's not for me to figure out, first of all. In other words, it does. It just does because it does. Now, what to do about that, that's a whole other story which took me about 40 years to try to figure out. And I still haven't really figured it out. But I do understand at least a little better what my role is, what I'm expected to do, what my responsibility is, meaning my ability to respond is, despite the fact that there's always 8 billion other life experiences approximately going on. And I know that we've only reached 8 billion now, so what am I talking about for 40 years? Well, there's been other 8 billion people probably that have come and gone in the prior 40 years to today's 8 billion people. So it's a safe assumption to say what I'm saying, that it can make sense more or less. This cat here is always confused, follows me but doesn't really want attention. I mean, it wants attention, it wants safety, but doesn't know what pets are. Although it is getting more friendly, I think it's understanding a little better. So we're here for love. We're here to share infinite love and gratitude. It wants to be by my feet, but it doesn't want pets. Don't really get it, but I'm going to try not to trip over it. So whoever has been following these videos, you hopefully see change and transformation in front of you. Otherwise, you're a little bit blind. Or you're not looking at the right things, or you're not listening to the right messages. And that's possible, and that's fine. And I have nothing against anyone. There's no criticism, no condemnation. Everyone is in their own situation, their own world for a reason. That tiny kitten, I think it was its first foray out today to the party. Hopefully it'll come back and eat. And there's a whole other community of cats just beyond every wall. This artificial community, this intentional artificial community we have going here based around the cats, this urban wild community on the 9th day, this Groundhog's Day, is a situation where we came to this dump. This place was a dump. It still is a dump. You can see people literally dump wasted food, not even in a way that humans or animals can benefit. People dump garbage here all the time. That's a lady who's at least more responsible. She cleans up after her animal, her dog, but there's others who don't, like these landmines that I have to navigate through when I'm walking. This place was a garbage dump. There's broken things that people throw here. There's useful things that people throw here. It's just a dump, and we have slowly been converting this into a sanctuary for these cats, a safe haven for people who need a place to go where they're not wanted or welcome anywhere else, and a place where we can just meet and talk about things so universal and so non-political, like stray cats, that of course we can make politics over anything. This one here is a one-eyed cat that one of our volunteers takes care of, and luckily it seems to be thriving. Those are the cats eating under the bucket, eating under the bench, I mean. So through just an experiment, through just belief in prophecies and miraculous biblical or mystical or magical formulas that are supposed to create world peace and harmony, even with nature, even with apex predators, we came to solve certain problems and issues that we were dealing with that had to do with where urban meets wild, where people need space and animals need space, and the growing populations of both seem to be causing a conflict. Or are they? Or is it just maybe the way we're doing things? The one on top there with the broken leg that's limping all the time. The kittens, the one-eyed cats like this one, this little kitten, this one-eyed kitten. Let's see if we can get it to come. It used to like my attention, but I haven't had time for it in the last few days. If I go any closer, I don't want to scare the other ones away. But anyone following, watching, knows this kitten and recognizes it and knows it's got one eye. I used to call it Dingo, Dingola, for reasons that only we know. Well, it was a point of reference. Can't see its eye here, but you'll trust me for now. So a certain strange sense of calm, a certain strange sense of peace. Strange because it's so rare, so hard to see, so hard to feel. But it's also welcoming because we have been blessed to feel that peace and to be able to have shared that peace, peaceful feeling, that calm surrender that comes from people feeling they have everything they need and not looking for excess wants. There's a certain sigh of relief when you get to a royal oasis, when you get to a place where you thought you were in the desert and you're treated like a king, and you realize that your needs are actually much less than what you thought when you strap away the wants. I used to call it ugly.me. UGLI.me was a website. You gotta love it. In other words, if you're getting everything you want, regardless of the brand, we'll put a new brand on it. We'll call it ugly, with an I. It's gotta be an I in ugly. Otherwise it's not worth anything. So yes, being proud to be ugly, being proud to be identified, to stand out, to be proud to be recognized for what makes me individual, that is a very strange thing to believe in a world where minorities get no voice. So we've come together, we've put together what we've done and what we're doing using quantum algorithms, quantum intelligence algorithms that focus on universal truths to come up with the simplest solutions. Now, they were theory for a long time. They were idealistic for a long time. They were the kind of thing that you had to be an activist, not a slacktivist, to realize. But when it's exclusive and it's only good for a certain few people, when blue zones only exist as anomalous pockets in the world, they have to be studied and restudied as to how they can survive in such a brave new world that isn't so, well, it might be brave, but isn't so smart. What do we do when we lack the intelligence, the basic intelligence? How do we want to build artificial intelligence on a lack of basic intelligence when humans are stupid in the first place? Humans led us to this destruction in the first place. Why would we want to take that intelligence and automate it? That's what artificial intelligence is. Artificial intelligence takes everything we know until now, takes all the human thought until now, and just thinks really fast within that to whittle it down. But it misses the whole point of computers, which is thinking out of the box. That's why I had to go to the cloud from all the big box computers. This isn't a joke. These aren't plays on words. I was active in all of these things, so I know. It's one of the most beautiful cats that have recently come to be part of the inner circle, the inner sanctum. Perfectly unharmed. Not that the ones that are damaged aren't beautiful, but this one has no seeming blemish. It comes from no noticeable family. There's no noticeable siblings based on its structure, on its color, on its shape. Somehow it's been brave enough to come out and be part of our experience, and it's wonderful. Besides the fact that he or she runs up to me for physical attention, which is nice. We're at a point now where it makes no sense, where free will has become a weapon, where the freedom to choose between good and bad has become a right. The freedom to choose bad over good has become a freedom. And the idea of isolating between equally good choices and having free choice to be between those has become fantasy or something frowned upon. The fact that freedom is considered the right to make bad decisions that not only can impact others but can impact ourselves, and not only can impact ourselves but can impact others, that's considered a freedom makes no sense. The fact that Supreme Courts can twist biblical and historical logic that's gone down in history called Solomon's trial to do the exact opposite of the meaning and quote Solomon, to be able to put him down in history as a lunatic, is insane. We're at a crossing point now where free will isn't an issue anymore. A great wise man by the name of Rabbi Amnon Yitzchak, was asked a question a while ago, roughly 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more. He might have been asked it even more than that. Here's our amputee cat with an amputated tail that wants its attention, including this kitten. You don't know how, you don't know how to give him attention without getting scratched. I guess he went on his way. There he is. So once he was asked, Rabbi Amnon Yitzchak was asked, there's a prophecy that says that the redemption will only come when the generation is either fully full of merit, in other words, we've earned it, we've all earned it, or fully demerit, meaning if not for divine intervention, we'll all go to hell. There's a prophecy that says that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because the world is churning, the yin and yang of everything is churning all the time, the good and bad, the ebb and flow, the ebony and ivory, all the different diametrically opposed opposites keep shifting. So how can it ever be that there will ever be a time when we're either all righteous or all not, especially when it's according to who? That's the biggest issue. I don't know if he even would have imagined ever that we'd come to a time when, by choice or not, you have to pick sides. Liking or not liking, or ignoring, are all political choices that eventually will polarize you to the point where you can't even have democracy, because you split up the same question, you split up the same population over more than one question, and you'll never have any kind of majority. Here's the one-eyed cat I was talking about, the little kitten. Besides this one that I don't even know so well and doesn't even want pets, just wants to rub against my leg. Very strange. So we're at a really, really weird time in space and time where, yes, we are all diametrically opposed about so many different issues that we can't even find friends. We're told to socially distance, but forced to physically proximate with people we don't want to be with necessarily through corona laws. When we realize that really what we need is to physically distance, to socially connect, to save who we are, to save our identity, literally and figuratively. I say that because I've been a victim of identity theft so many times that it's already fun. It's already become a game. Just as I was getting to the momentum that LinkedIn wanted me to get to, they took away my profile because I was getting too much traction. And the fact that I can't prove who I am, despite that nobody else wants to be me, and no one's claiming that it's not me, is really weird, but I get it already. I'd rather go through that than a head-on collision, than an assassination attempt, than be in a coma or otherwise wiped off the face of the earth. So I take it as a sign, and today I start a new day. I start a new life, which is Groundhog's Day. New LinkedIn profile, new feeds, new everything, recognizing the infinite love and gratitude that have sustained us until now. Recognizing all the different powers that have kept us going until now. And despite the storm, here we are, in between rain bursts, exactly when I need to come out on my schedule for the cats. The rain stopped, the storm stopped. It was even too wet to come out half an hour before I came out. I just stopped, where the cats can come from all directions, because they literally do. This spot is not normally... There's normally no cats here. During the day I've taken pictures, I've shared them to show that during the 23 hours that I'm not here, there are no cats here. These cats come from every single direction. Up, down, left, right, forward, backwards, you name it. Come from every different population and direction, demographic. And to show that they're here now, and leaving excess piles of food. That's the point I'm trying to show. There's excess piles of food. There's the cats that keep coming and going, the ebb and flow of different cats. As you see, climbing up the wall there. We've fed cats in that park too, in different decorations, different directions. And all the cats, they come, there's at least 50 cats that come and go. And talking about that, we're in the process of launching our telethon. Of course, they don't have telethons anymore. Today it's called crowdfunding, but telethon meaning each one of these cats costs approximately 2 Israeli shekels a day. It's about 60 cents US, less than 60 cents euros, probably close to €0.50 a day to sponsor. I'm not asking for any help, but if you want to make a difference, it costs as little as 2 shekels, 60 cents of a US dollar, 50 cents of a euro, roughly. And it really doesn't cost much. For 2 shekels a day, for that amount of money that we're asking for, not even asking for, that we've calculated the monetization of this, that's all it takes to make a difference of a cat. We're not even asking you to adopt them. But if people would realize that's all it takes, each one of these cats, you can make a difference to one of these cats, and through these cats to a human being, and through these human beings to a community, and to everything to the greater good. Because the butterfly effect, the domino effect, of what we're doing is so great and incomprehensible that if you look at the juicer campaign, the crowdfunding campaign that we produced 4 years ago as a draft for the algorithm, that we edited and finished 4 years ago but never launched, and how it's changed the world even without raising any money, you can understand the concept behind this. So yes, for only the cost of your approval, your democratic right is less than $1 per person. We're not asking for money. But if you show your support, of the fact that we believe that everyone deserves safety, everyone deserves warmth, clean water, clean air, clean food, a safe place to enjoy it, whether you've got 4 legs or 2 legs or no legs or 1 leg, or wings, or whatever you have, or none of the above. Whether you're an animal, or whether you're a human, regardless of religion or faith, if you believe in a perfect world, all lives matter, regardless of who or what you are. But if no one has to be hurt, then we shouldn't be teaching death and cruelty and suffering. Yes, it's a cautionary tale of the past. But that's all it should be. This cat accidentally got under my foot. The one that doesn't want petting but wants to be by my foot accidentally got tapped and freaked out, attacked my foot. I'll be okay, but that's what happens here. There's this stress in the air, a tension in the air for no reason, that we have a scarcity mentality still. This is the end of the scarcity mentality, the end of Groundhog's Day. Little kitty, don't freak out. I'm not upset with you that you scratched my foot, but it's the end of scarcity mentality. Whoever you represent, whatever kind of reincarnation is going on here, whatever kind of karma, there's no more scarcity mentality. That's the point. There's no more scarcity mentality, that these kittens that don't know each other, they might not have ever met, can get along and find common ground here. That this amputee here can be comfortable in the same environment. That all these strangers, regardless of color and creed and race and pedigree, whether they're mutts, whether they're not mutts, or whatever the equivalent is in a cat, the fact that we can all get along here and find peace and find food and shelter in an abandoned wasteland, which is literally what this is, next to the Gaza Strip, which is another abandoned wasteland, where Bill Gates, through his foundation, threw millions of dollars to try to prove something, and instead of it being done right, it went to just show the disdain for cooperation. I'm not going to get into the politics of things, because everybody has their side and everyone's right from their perspective, and that's the sad part. And everyone claims that they want the same thing, and that's the sad part, because everyone claims that they want the same thing, but there's not enough resources. Because yes, Israel is barely a sliver. The state of Israel, the land of Israel, is barely a sliver. The people of Israel are barely the smallest minority in the world, especially if you don't know how to define them. The Torah is followed by the smallest minority of the smallest minority within the smallest minority of the people, yet it's still the guiding light. And when we find the commonality and the universal truth behind it all and we want to share it, people get scared. So here we are wrapping up this particular introductory video as a launch of what we call the 9th day. But we're already past noon on the 9th day. Already past maybe even the early afternoon on the 9th day. We're going into the evening, meaning once we get to the 10th day, it's over. There's no more choice. Whatever that means to you, I don't even care anymore. I'm sorry to say. It's exhausting to try to care about people who don't care or don't want to care. Or care about things that, they have the right to care about as long as it doesn't bother me. So I'm not going to let it bother me. In honor of Groundhog's Day on the 9th day, we're moving on. Get ready for our next live feed that's coming up on another channel. And you're also welcome to join us in our Zoom call that we announced, that we'll announce again, and we're going to be sharing again. So see you in the gap. Infinite love and gratitude. Thank you for coming.